Welcome back to Mindful Serenity, Waking Up in a Busy World with Nancy. And we are going to continue answering questions from the jar. So I pull out a question, a spiritual kind of question, or a higher consciousness kind of question, and I do my best to answer it within a 10-minute time frame. Do I answer it perfectly? Definitely not. Do I want you to heed everything I have to say? Definitely not. I'm hoping you can use whatever answer I give you as a pointer to go into yourself and find the answers that are already there. Like I said, I'm just teaching for the sake of learning, and I learn best when I teach. And I am by no means a wise and experienced knower of all, just the opposite. I'm a learner, like most of you. So I am going to start my timer, and then I will reach in and grab a question. And let's see if I can go down to the bottom here. It's a big, long one. It might take me 10 minutes just to read it. Okay. Is it important to accept and appreciate one's circumstances, even if they are very challenging and unwholesome? Is it important to accept and appreciate one's challenges, even if they are very challenging and unwholesome? This is a wonderful question. Relates to the question I just answered on the problematic use of dreaming and fantasizing about the future. Anyway, I'm going to take a nice deep breath, and then I'm going to exhale. I'm just going to bring myself back to the here and now and to that part of myself that's in all of us that will help us to answer without the ego's interference. The ego always thinks it knows everything and uses knowledge and concepts, and these types of answers have to go beyond knowledge and concept. So is it important to accept and appreciate one's circumstances, even if they are very challenging and unwholesome? I'm going to say yes right off. Acceptance is paramount to your freedom. It's paramount to your changing your life. It's paramount to you experiencing all that life has to offer. It's paramount to you becoming all that you are. Acceptance is where we start. Acceptance is the first rung on that ladder of emotionality that takes us to a higher sense of being. So when we accept something, what we're doing is we're not saying it's okay. For example, if you're in an abusive relationship and that's what you mean by unwholesome and the person is abusing you, you don't take the beatings if you can. I mean, of course, that's a big, complicated situation. Probably not the best example to use, but it doesn't mean you have to take the beatings. It doesn't mean, for example, if you're you're finding yourself suddenly ill with something, doesn't mean you just accept it and don't go see and get help for it. When we accept our lives, our challenges in our lives, when we accept even the unwholesome ones, it is a starting of willingness, or it's a sign of our willingness to appreciate and to approach life in a healthy, wholesome way. So acceptance is surrender in a sense, and surrendering is not giving up. It's not a losing type of thing. When we accept what is, we are embracing the reality of life. We, as a little me that sees itself as separate and sees itself as needing to control everything out there so it feels good inside, that sees itself as having the power and the right to tell life what to do, when that me, which most of us have created in ourselves as our psyches, steps out of the way, then we experience something far greater than whatever we could experience by resisting what is, by denying reality and trying to do it our way. So when we learn to accept, when we learn to sit with what is, instead of saying it's bad, wrong, shouldn't be, and I gotta do something to change it so it is good, right, and should be, we are embracing the reality of what is. We're starting to realize at some point in our lives that our habitual tendencies, our compulsive existence based on serving this little me and doing whatever we can to control life and make it the way we should be, and so we feel good inside, doesn't work for us. It's impossible to please this little me, this entity we've created. And yes, we've created it. And in a sense, it is our karma that we've created by identifying with this sense of little self that has all these needs, these likes and dislikes, these preferences, the way they want to see life go, the way they want to see life not go, sort of thing. Our fears, our judgments, our labels. When we identify ourselves as that, we tend to resist the reality of what is. We resist this moment as it is. We judge it as being bad, wrong, shouldn't be. We try to push it away. And when we push away, we never push away. We push in and down. So we end up suppressing and repressing these emotional energies that sit around the circumstances that we consider to be wholesome or challenging. We suppress that, and we create even worse karma for ourselves and create more consequences in the long run, more problems or suffering in the long run when we do that. So our challenges are really, what life gives us, is what we term challenges, are really not problems. The problem comes when the mind says, no, I don't want that, I want it to be a different way than it is, and it starts trying to control and fix it. That's where the problem comes in. It's what the mind does with our challenges that creates this sense of unsettledness with life, this mess inside us. It's our resistance to what is that is the problem. So acceptance, allowing life to do what life does, knowing that life's been around a lot longer than we have in these forms, Life's been around for trillions, billions of years, the universe for trillions. So what we are experiencing right now is just a blink of an eye in universal time. So it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with our ability to have a happy life. We are here to experience all of life fully and completely. We are here to experience what is, not what we think it should be, but what life is. And what life is unfolding in front of me as this little speck of dust on this planet is different than what life is giving you or unfolding in front of you. You experience what you are experiencing. I experience what I experience. If little me doesn't get in the way, it can be a joyous and full experience, beginning with this acceptance of what is. If little me gets in the way and resistance, which is the opposite of acceptance, surrendering and letting go, we're going to have more problems, more suffering, more unnecessary suffering than we're having and experiencing right now. So we begin by accepting the moment for what it is. This is just as it is. I have financial problems right now. It is as it is. I have a health condition right now. It is as it is. I have family situations right now. It is as it is. We accept life exactly as it is without this need to change it or to make it suit this idea we have of little me. It is the true essence beneath this identity we created of ourselves, this psyche, this accumulation of learned events, these memories, these samskaras, this idea of a separate entity. Beneath that is the essence of who we are, this higher consciousness, this awareness, this witness consciousness. That is what's here to experience life. Sometimes our acceptance only comes when we push little me aside and fall back into that true self, when we realize that everything we've been doing prior to this just doesn't work, and little me's in the way, and I want more than this. I can't control the world, I can't control life, and we realize and we fall back into who we truly are and begin accepting, we open up to so much more than we ever thought possible. Peace, joy, love, unlimited and unconditional in its nature. And that's who we are. So acceptance helps us to get there. Acceptance and the willingness to begin the work of changing so that we're no longer identified and serving the little me, but that we're falling back and being who we truly are and experiencing life from there, whatever unfolds in front of us, unconditionally. Challenge is there to help us grow. Challenge is there to help us be who we are. And if we can accept it, we'll learn to honor it, embrace it, appreciate it, and grow from it. Well, that's all I have to say for now. I hope that answered the question. Thank you so much for joining me, and namaste.